Now, well, despite the threats posed by members of the indigenous people of Biafra, preparations towards Saturday's governorship election in Anambra State is in top gear, while the candidates are intensifying campaign for votes. And while the candidates have different approaches to solving problems facing the state, some are on the same page regarding how to ensure peaceful conduct of the election. The candidate of the APC, Andy Uba, the candidate for APGA, Professor Soludo, and the People's Democratic Party's Valentine Ozigbo called for dialogue with IPOB, this to avert threats by its one-week sit at home, or threats of its one-week sit at home in Anambra State. Cyril, what do you make of that?
No, what they've said is true. You will have to dialogue. I believe that's what we're talking about. You will have to find a way to make peace. If you have tried other methods, such as putting boots on the ground, and that hasn't solved the problem, you realize that you will have to sit down first of all to intelligently understand what the issues are, and then approach it diplomatically. You will arrive at a better solution faster than you ever can using any other method. And perhaps this rhetoric is also one that may help to soften the extreme rhetoric and stance of IPOB in, looking at the election as an enemy. The reality is that if Anambra State truly implodes, God forbid, if it really implodes, who will do anything? Even IPOB can't come out and, So the fact is that we must sit down to this. What people have lost in all these days of sit at home, all these days of violence on the streets, what people have lost can't even be quantified. My thinking is that the three candidates at least are united on one issue, which is to say we must sit down and have a conversation. And I think it's worth looking into.
Sam?
Engagement is key, and the calls that were made by the frontrunners in the Anambra Guba election is in tandem with the feeling out there. There's a limit to what force can achieve, and when you're dealing with a movement that is bent on its ways, you've got to be very careful, because an uprising within that region could mean a lot of instability in the system. So the call is welcome. We hope something will be made of these calls, at least to help us achieve peace. But what is even much more disturbing is that even as these calls have been made, the kind of utterances that you hear on some government functionaries is a bit worrisome. A couple of days back, we had Shehu Garba say that the trial of Nnamdi Kanu is going to bring an end to the IPOB struggle. And you wonder if there is substance in that claim. Just yesterday, you had Loreto Anochi, another top government functionary, calling the leader of IPOB as an agent of death, and all that. Yes, you may have your position, but at this time, it would be nice for key government players to be very careful in the way they speak, because the situation is really very volatile. When you make such utterances, you tend to harden those who are agitating for whatever rights they think is theirs. So there is no alternative to engagement. We've got to sit down and dialogue. And it's not just about the clamor in the southeast. It's about the Nigerian project itself. There's a lot of resentment, between and among the different federating units. So the calls that you've seen made in the southeast, similar calls have been made in the southwest, in the north central part of the country. So it's important that the government is sensitive to these calls and ensure that they leverage, whatever feedback that they have to encourage a genuine dialogue about the Nigerian project. There's a lot of, resentment, within the country, unless we want to pretend about it.
Well, the issue of who belts the catch has also arisen in this admonition, so to speak, especially when you compare the body language of the federal government. Of course, weeks to the polls, they've also, warned IPOB and its supporters not to try anything funny. And of course, we've already seen reports of how many security operatives that are on ground, ready to start work to ensure a free and fair and peaceful polls in Anambra State. So how do you compare this?
No, I think the federal government has demonstrated sufficient ignorance of what is going on. It is either they are genuinely ignorant and don't have a clue what to do, or they are deliberately stoking the fire just to make that place unstable. And we have sufficient evidence. You call it body language. It is spoken language. They have said more than is necessary to be said to cause the Southeast to burn. Now, having said that, my suggestion is, talking about who will bail the cat, I think that what the political class in Anambra does, the political elite, will matter. Regardless of who wins the election, whether it is Chukuma, Soludo, or it is Andy Uba, or it is Valentine Ozigbo, since these three leading candidates are all in agreement that there is a common solution to dealing with IPOB, can they coalesce? Can they, for the sake of peace in their state, say that no matter who wins the election, we will all come together? I don't know if it is mere far-fetching or wishful thinking, but if they can all come together to say, even if we disagree on other issues, on IPOB, yes, let us manage to come together. Let's try to, close ranks and see how we can. The reality is that every state in this country has the potential. I do know that Anambra State alone has what it takes to turn around Nigeria's economic fortunes. If you want to undertake manufacturing, you can't look past states like Anambra and Abia. But the reality is that, politics, corruption, insecurity are factors that will continue to hinder and inhibit the full emergence of the full potential of our people. So if we have that understanding that, okay, look, we're going to chart a new path for our people, let this election come and go, and let's sit down and have a proper roadmap to settling these issues. It will create a template, a foundation upon which all other peace efforts can be built. But I am very certain that for that to happen, we will have to look past Buhari and his government. Maybe after 2023, when he's gone, that's when we can sit down and meaningfully. IPOB wasn't this violent and wasn't like this.
Anambra wasn't volatile. Wasn't this volatile?
It has taken the mismanagement of.
And so for the Southeast too. Let me get some final takes. Some say, I don't know whether there's still time for a peace accord, but is this also your thinking that the three parties, the biggest parties or everyone, some have even said you are cheating them for calling out just the three.
Absolutely.
I
share that sentiment.
Absolutely. In the spirit of
the dark horses.
In the spirit of an open playing field. But what will it be for you?
The multi-party system.
Kevin, you talked about the peace accord. I think that oftentimes when we have seen that done, it's just it's for the optics. The politicians don't seem to take themselves, seriously. And I've always said here, and I'm not going to differ from what I have said in the past. We need peace, but we can't have peace of the graveyard. If there are underlying factors that could threaten peace, then those factors have to be dealt with. Injustice is one of them. Inequity is one of them. So those issues will have to be dealt with. And I agree completely with Cyril, that the gladiators in Anambra should not just, be mounting, dialogue, let's talk and all that. They need to put action to it. We want to see what happens post November 6th. It's important because the peace that we are angling for in Anambra has to be much more enduring, and we hope that would even translate, to the entire across the entire of this
absolutely. Sami Bemere, Cyril Abako, thank you so much for your wonderful insights on the program
today. Thank you very much.
And that's at 7 on Journalist Hangout. This Tuesday edition. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow for another episode of the program. And remember that you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. You can also join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. And we're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Kemi Foladeyemo. From all of us here, thank you so much for watching. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.